So it's September 26th, 2025, and just got back from a nice 2-day trip to Humboldt Vihara, and a nice meal gathering there yesterday. And it was a good opportunity, good opening. Somebody was asking about the upcoming Abhayagiri India pilgrimage and what are the Buddhist holy sites and whatnot. Some of the people there don't really know that much about Buddha's life story or the Buddhist history. So the chance to talk a little bit about Buddha Nusati, the Buddha's life story, and why these different four holy sites, the place where the Buddha was born, where he was enlightened, where he gave the first teaching, where he passed away. Those are the four main holy sites. So we call them the Chatura Sangvejaniya Saddha, or you could say Chatura Sangvejaniya Satana, the four places that inspire a sense of urgency and faith. And it's said that if one passes away while going on pilgrimage to any of those sites with a heart of faith, then you're guaranteed a good rebirth if you haven't penetrated further to noble attainments. So one of the few places in the suttas where the Buddha talks like that, usually his teachings are very practical, but then he's talking about the power of faith as well, that faith is a factor which makes the mind more wholesome. And also, in the Buddha's getting enlightened, in the suttas, the account of the Buddha's awakening, he's recounting it himself. And when he attained awakening and became the Buddha, when the Bodhisattva attained awakening, became the Buddha, then he reflected, what can I pay respects to now that, or is there somebody I can pay respects to now that would have some sort of quality, wholesome quality developed that I haven't developed yet? And he couldn't see that there would be anybody in the world he could pay respects to, anywhere in the universe he could pay respects to. But he thought, well, those who don't pay respect to anything don't have any happiness. So to set a good example, I should pay respect to something. So he thought, well, I will pay respects to this very Dhamma, which I've realized. So the Buddha actually setting the example of also paying respect to something with that reflection that those who don't pay respect to anything don't have any happiness. And you can see that in society, in real life, like people who, any religion where people hold something higher than themselves. They don't hold themselves to be the highest, but they hold something higher than themselves, have more of a sense of zeal and more of a sense of purpose in life than people who just take themselves as the highest, or don't consider that anything is greater than themselves. I am the greatest being in the universe. My views and opinions are the best ever. And a lot of people think like that. We don't realize we think like that. We don't realize we think like that unless we practice, and we'll realize it later. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I thought and acted like that. So even though we might think, I'm not someone who has a lot of views and opinions, I'm not an opinionated person, but then that's not what everybody else thinks about us. So it's hard to see. It's hard to see ourselves. Sometimes people might not want to tell us just because they don't want to hurt our feelings or rock the boat or have to do hours of processing with us and try to feel better. So good for us to see ourselves. This is something Lumpur Ban would say, is that in the end we teach ourselves. It's not that a teacher teaches you. A teacher can't teach you anything. They just point the way, and in the end our brain has to teach ourselves. So we have to end up taking it on and deciding to train ourselves. And that's, in the end, that's all we do. We all train ourselves. We don't really get trained by anybody. But then some people, like the Buddha or the Krupa Ajahns, they can point the way. They can explain how to train ourselves, but they're not going to force us to do it. Nobody can force us to train ourselves. We just have to decide to do it on our own. And then it's that quality of faith which is going to prod us to do that. I'll leave that for reflection this morning.